we go now.
Touchdown, Cooper. That was DeMarcus Lawrence.
They can't stop us. Keep hitting him in the mouth. Keep hitting him in the mouth. They can't stop us.
Keeps his feet to the 10. Touchdown, Elliott. Gallup leaping. Touchdown.
Dallas Cowboys Game Night is presented by AT&T. Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. Miller Lite, the only beer of the Cowboys. And by NFL Game Pass. You'll never miss a game again. Enjoy full access to coaches' film and game replays from Week 1 to the Super Bowl. Subscribe at DallasCowboys.com/Game Pass.
In what some would call the most all-around win for the Dallas Cowboys in 2020, Cowboys go up to the Ohio River and take on the Cincinnati Bengals in a 30-7 win in Week 14 of the NFL season. They hold Cincinnati to 7 points, lowest from any opponent throughout the course of the season. Welcome into Cowboys Game Night here from the Star in Frisco. Kyle Youmans alongside three-time Super Bowl champion Nate Newton to my right. And Nate, I said some would argue, could you argue that this is the best game all around, complementary football, offense, defense, special teams that the Cowboys put together this year?
Yes, this is the best game they've played up to this point, Kyle, and it's great. I mean, I've been on teams that have not had success, great success, like this team here has not had great success, and we've been very hard on our defense, and I think our defense as a whole played well. There's still some things that they need to do run-wise and maybe filling gaps that they can do a little bit better, but they tackled well as a secondary. They kept these guys out of there, and they got 3 turnovers. It gave them a chance to win the game.
Really, those 3 turnovers early on set the tone. Mike McCarthy certainly talked about that after the game. Let's go out to Mike McCarthy at Paul Brown Stadium and hear what he had to say at the podium.
Mike, can you start? Yeah, Mike, you just talk about your defense today. Do you think they set the tone for what happened out there?
Yes, definitely. I mean, defense definitely set the tone early with the takeaways, and I think clearly when you talk about the fundamentals, stressing the fundamentals, and we know where we are as far as the turnover differential going into the game, and when you see the takeaways are done on second reaction, second effort. Type plays, and that's how they usually come. They come in bunches, so that was huge for us. +3, winning the turnover battle was clearly a big part of our victory today. But I think on a number of fronts, it was a very gratifying victory because of just the number of things that went on during the game on the sidelines, particularly on defense. I mean, defense stepped up time and time again, not only with the 3 takeaways, but with the big 4th down stop. And we had a number of guys going in and out of the game, particularly with our secondary. I thought our young corners battled, went in and out, and I thought our veteran players handled the transition of that those situations. And so, very gratifying win for us.
Mike, how gratifying was it for Andy, you think, to win this one?
Oh, definitely. I mean, this is definitely special for him, and make no bones about it. He wanted to win this game, and more importantly, everybody in this locker room wanted to win it for him. And, we presented him the game ball afterwards. And if you could just see in the locker room, just the reaction of when he came into the locker room after the game, I think it speaks volumes about the men in the locker room. And what this win means for us as a team because of, where we are in our season, but how important it was to get that win today for Andy.
Nate, this was a really big win, not only for the coaching staff, but for the players and the confidence moving into the final 3 weeks of what has been a trying 2020 season.
Yes, and what I truly believe is that you have to savor this right here. You don't go overboard with it. You still treat it as one win, but you know what? You're still in the race for the East.
That's a huge one, too, because you get right back in the thick of things in terms of the NFC East.
Right.
At the moment, you look at it, and you're not eliminated, first off, which you could have if you would have had a loss. But now you're actually in a pretty good spot moving into 3 games against 3 teams with losing records. But when we come back here on Cowboys Game Night, we hear from Aldon Smith, who had one of the biggest plays of the game, a 78-yard touchdown return. We'll hear from him next.
This segment is brought to you by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
The Cowboys 30-7 victors over the Cincinnati Bengals, and in the game, a big play early on was a 78-yard touchdown return from one Aldon Smith, who had to say this after the win.
Aldon, can you just start by talking about what you saw and what you were thinking on that fumble return for the touchdown as you took it back the other way?
So I seen the ball on the ground, picked it up, and just tried to make a play.
When was the last time you scored a touchdown?
High school. Or no, I scored one in college, I think. But a long time.
Remember what day was the sack fumble?
What's that?
Remember how you scored in college, or was it like a sack fumble?
It was an interception. We were playing Oklahoma, and it was an interception. My interception. Ran it back.
Did you know pretty early in this run you're going to be able to make it back, or at what point did you think that you were going to be able to go all the way?
Can you repeat that question?
Yeah, did you have a pretty good idea early you were going to be able to take it all the way, or at what point on the field were you able to look around and see where you thought you'd be able to get it in?
Well, I know that I'm like really fast, so as soon as I picked it up, I just knew that it was just going to be impossible for me to get caught. But no, seriously, like as I was running, I was looking up at the screen, and I saw there was nobody really around me, so just was able to take it in for the touchdown.
Aldon Smith also providing a bit of help on the pass rush as well. A pass rush that had a little bit of success today against the Bengals, but what do you think overall of that front seven?
I like how they played overall. You know, like I say, there's still some questions to be answered. As far as our defense, our linebackers still need to fill gaps a little bit better and a little bit harder. But overall, you saw, led by D-Law, the defensive line played pretty well. I think that Antoine Woods played all right. I think that Gallimore, for the most part, filled his gaps. But when you get it early, the first three possessions, there were turnovers. And when you start having success as a defense and start doing the things that they did, it keeps everybody at home. It keeps everybody disciplined. I think our secondary tackled well. They played a little soft shell, kept those two nice receivers in front of them, and they tackled well today. So it kept them out of the end zone, 7 points.
That's huge for the Cowboys defense confidence-wise moving forward. But you mentioned really kind of the turnovers early on. That's what set the tone, and that's something the Cowboys have been looking for really all season long.
Definitely. I mean, you know, we didn't control the time of possession. I mean, at 34 minutes that they had the ball, we only had it 25. But when you turn the ball over, it gives you a chance to win. When one is a great, two, that's outstanding. And three, wow, you're looking to win a game now.
What's one of the things that stuck out to you in the secondary in a game where it looked like Brandon Allen finally found a bit of a rhythm, and the secondary certainly struggled at times?
They ran some nice routes. They made some great plays. But you know what? The deal is what's on the scoreboard. As I said before, this secondary tackled well, kept guys in front of them, didn't let no big plays get behind them. And when you can do that right there, because they were beat up and they were injured. So when you can do that right there, tackle well, keep them out of the end zone, keep the big plays to a minimum, you have success.
It's going to be interesting moving forward. It was interesting to see Andy Dalton in his return to Cincinnati. We'll hear from him right after this.
This segment was brought to you by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. This segment is brought to you by the Texas Lottery. The Dallas Cowboys scratch ticket from the Texas Lottery is your ticket for a chance to win up to $100,000. Get your Dallas Cowboys scratch ticket today. Must be 18 or older to purchase a ticket. Play responsibly.
A pair of touchdown passes for Andy Dalton in his return to Cincinnati, a town where he played for 9 seasons. Here's what he had to say after the Cowboys got the 30-7 road win.
Andy, what were your emotions out there today, and then being presented with the game ball when you got back in the locker room? If you could tell us about that moment a little bit.
Yeah, this one was special. Obviously, a team I played for a long time. You want to do everything you can to win, and I thought our team played really well. So a lot of range of emotions from just being back in the city to being in the stadium, being on the other side of it, all that kind of stuff. good to have the emotion at the end of being very happy that we got this win.
What did the guys do in the locker room when you came in? Someone was saying that they had a big roar or something like that. What was that like, Brent?
Yeah, I got water thrown on me and everything. Everybody was excited. So, I think Mike and just a lot of the guys, it made it a big deal. And so it feels good to come back to a place that I was for a long time to win. And like I said, it just felt good.
Who threw the water on you? Do you know?
There was a lot of water being thrown, so I don't know who it was.
The television broadcast showed a couple different times after your touchdown pass to Tony Pollard, you looking and acknowledging your wife, and then her acknowledging you on the field. Just how cool is it to be able to have that moment in that stadium that obviously you spent a lot of time playing in? Yeah, I've done that a lot in this stadium. After touchdowns, acknowledging her, giving her the "I love you," and getting it back. So, it's special to be on the other side of it. I'm glad that she was here. Glad she got to see a lot of friends, and there's a lot of friendships that we'll have for the rest of our lives from being here in Cincinnati. So I'm glad that she was here, got to experience this whole thing, and and for us to get the win.
You can really hear it in his voice. You can see it in his smile. This is a win that meant a lot to Andy Dalton, and especially the way that they did it, where he took care of the football, threw a couple touchdown passes. What did you think about the Red Rocket in this one?
I liked it. I mean, he threw to the right receivers. He threw to anybody and to the right guy that was open. I mean, but I want to go here, man, because you kind of got on because I didn't know what this means. Now, what does that mean?
It means I love you. It's just a symbol. He said it in the interview. He said it just then. He was just trying to wave.
Okay, I'm gonna give you that symbol right there, and I love you too.
It's on Valentine's
But I
Day.
promise you, man, this dude had a nice day. For the last few weeks, he's been throwing the ball to the open guy. He's found a rhythm, and now he's leading his offense in the proper and right way.
Are you really able to find a rhythm around Andy Dalton to find something to build on the final 3 weeks of the season?
Oh, definitely. I mean, he's giving the ball to the right guy. He's doing the right things. And that's all that counts. That's all he can do. He took advantage of the 3 turnovers that they gave him. He scored points on each one of these opportunities, and that's what you want.
It is something that Andy Dalton was able to take advantage of today, and the Cowboys took advantage in a 30-7 win. When we come back, we'll hear from the defensive side of the football here on Cowboys Game Night.
This segment was brought to you by the Texas Lottery. The Dallas Cowboys scratch ticket for the Texas Lottery is your ticket for a chance to win up to $100,000. Get your Dallas Cowboys scratch ticket today. Must be 18 or older to purchase a ticket. Play responsibly.
Cowboys give up less than 20 points to an opponent for the first time in the 2020 season. A big reason for that was the front 7, that defensive line, and Jalon Smith back behind that defensive line. Here's what he had to say at the podium.
Jalon, how big was the turnovers created today, just in terms of setting the tone for this game?
Very big, very big. You talk about getting turnovers and giving opportunities, more opportunities. To our offense. Great field position is a big key to winning games.
Did you know that one of those turnovers is caused by the running back running to the backside of one of his linemen?
Hey, however we got to get it, we gonna get it. I'm thankful. I'm thankful.
You think Aldon Smith had the juice to get in the end zone there on that recovery?
Yeah, I mean, he's an athletic guy, and it's hard to get him down, especially with that type of lead and no real pursuit. We knew he was going to get in, so just happy for him. Happy for him.
I think this is y'all's lowest point total allowed since September of last season. Does it do anything for your confidence, not just to play well, but to be able to put a dominant effort like that on tape?
Just understanding our strengths and doing what we do best. It's just a true testament to that. We've done it before. Really haven't showed it this season. Much putting together a full 60-minute game, but we was able to do that today. And you know, for us, we can only control what we can control, and that's what we got to focus on. And this is a great start.
It was a big week for Jalon Smith, led the team in tackles today, had the fumble recovery, and then also he was named the nominee for the Cowboys for the Walter Payton Man of the Year. But what did you think about the linebackers? Because there were some positives, but there were definitely some negatives.
Just get a little bit more consistent. I mean, like you said, you know, build on what you can build on. I mean, and turnovers is a cure for everything. If the defense is getting turnovers, you know, between the 20s don't count. It's the red zone, and can you get the ball back to your offense? You did that 3 times. And so that's what I'm happy about. And Jalon, hey, just keep your head up. You and Leighton, y'all just keep plugging away, man, and try to learn this defense and make these last 2 or 3 games special games for yourself.
Well, and there's certainly going to be some challenges whenever it comes to these last 3 games. San Francisco, Philadelphia, who's running the football really well at the moment, and then also you close things out with New York. So with these linebackers, what do you have to see from them the final 3 weeks of the year to have a little bit of consistency and confidence in them?
Just come downhill, be in the gap you're supposed to be in, see the things you're supposed to see. Believe your eyes, believe your assignment, fill your gaps, tackle well, and you'll be okay. I mean, it'll leave a good taste in everybody's mind and thoughts.
After a rough week last week with Leighton Vander Esch, Jalon Smith, and Leighton Vander Esch, play a little bit better today, but still a lot to grow on overall. The Cowboys do get the 30-7 win, and when we come back here on Cowboys Game Night, we'll wrap things up and look ahead to Week 15 of the NFL season as the San Francisco 49ers come to town. We'll talk about it next.
Dallas Cowboys Game Night was presented by AT&T, Reliant, an NRG company, and by NFL Game Pass. You'll never miss a game again. Enjoy full access to coaches' film and game replays from Week 1 to the Super Bowl. Subscribe at DallasCowboys.com/Game Pass.
The Cowboys may have been outgained, they may have lost the time of possession battle, but the Cowboys win the turnover battle and the game 30-7 in a dominant fashion in Cincinnati at Paul Brown Stadium. Win number 4 of the 2020 season, and the Cowboys break a 2-game losing skid. Welcome back here to Cowboys Game Night as we wrap things up in Week 14. Nate Newton, Kyle Youmans, as we look ahead now to Week 15. And we continue on in what is a crazy 2020 season, but San Francisco comes to town and in what is probably the most unique form of this rivalry, Nate. But what is one thing the Cowboys really need to look at and improve upon going into a week full of preparation?
Understand one thing. Coach Shanahan is going to run the ball, and he's going to run the ball, and he's going to run the ball. So what you guys have to do, especially our linebackers and our 2 tackles on the inside, is understand that if y'all do a hearty job this coming week in practice and prepare yourselves for this right here, you can have a chance to beat the 49ers. They're not the same 49ers of a year ago, but Coach Shanahan loves to run the ball to set up everything.
It was a complementary form of football today, but which unit, special teams, defense, offense, has to play better in Week 15 than they did today?
The middle of our defense. Whether it's safety, whether it's linebackers, whether it's the 2 tackles, you have to play better. You have to soar up that, because if you don't, Coach Shanahan will come in here and run 800 yards against us.
It's a noon game coming up on Sunday as the Cowboys and the San Francisco 49ers meet at AT&T Stadium. That's going to do it here for Week 14. The Cowboys get the win over the Cincinnati Bengals, and that's going to do it here for us on Cowboys Game Night. For Nate Newton, I'm Kyle Youmans, and thanks to our entire DallasCowboys.com crew. Once again, the final score from Paul Brown Stadium, 30-7. The Cowboys get the win. We'll see you next week.
Go Cowboys.